Okay. I experienced tremendous joy when my son Daniel was married to Margalit Mizrahi in March in Jerusalem, Israel. To know my son had found his true love, and was incredibly happy, was something that I am very grateful for. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, I am blessed to have two wonderful children, Rachel and Daniel. For those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting them, Rachel was a charter member of this club in 2005, and Daniel earned his Competent Communicator Award here and was very gifted in table topics. Although Daniel graduated from Millbrook High School, he's lived for the past 10 years in Israel. He graduated from college in Israel, served in the Israeli army, and works for companies that have worked in America. His mother, Bracha, was a Sabra, a native-born Israeli, whose family came from Yemen. I too lived in Israel for a number of years and also served in the Israeli army. This was my third trip in the past year to Israel. I went on my nostalgia tour last April, where I went to meet friends who I made when I was a student at Hebrew University in 1971 and 72. I gave that speech on that trip last May. At that time, Daniel had just met Margalit. Although I stayed in Daniel's small apartment near the beach in Tel Aviv, Daniel did not say a word to me. He just said, "Dad, I have to go out, and I'll be back later." Daniel had met Margalit online. She had lived in Chicago for 2 years, working with the Israeli Tourism Office. The first picture Margalit sent to Daniel was one of her in front of a statue of Cubs legend Ron Santo at Wrigley Field. Given Daniel's love of the Cubs, this was a sign from heaven that Margalit was going to be Daniel's Besheret, his chosen one. Margalit had gone to the baseball game and was bored out of her mind. Over the next few months, people from Raleigh went to Israel and met Margalit, and I heard glowing reports. Daniel, Margalit, and Rachel went on a trip to Thailand in October. I could tell by this time that the relationship was getting serious. In November, they moved to a new apartment and bought appliances. Nothing says domestic life like buying appliances together. This seemed like the perfect time to visit them. I wanted Margalit to know what she was going to get as a father-in-law. Margalit is the oldest of 9 children. Her mother, Hannah, has 7 girls and 2 boys. Margalit's father passed away, and her mother raised the children without any help from a husband. I took Margalit, Daniel, and her mother, Hannah, to a restaurant in Jerusalem near the Old City on a cold Saturday night at the end of December. Hannah is 55 years old and does not speak a word of English. However, she is friendly and down to earth. I felt very comfortable with her. She kept telling Margalit that she already had 7 kids by the time she was Margalit's age. Despite their moving in together, getting married was not on the radar. Daniel told me later that my visit was the stimulus for this move. If they were going to be together, there was no reason for delay. Daniel proposed to Margalit at the Western Wall, Jerusalem, on January 30th. The Western Wall is the holiest site in Judaism. They set the date for March 27th, an engagement of only 6 weeks. Given the short lead time, it was impossible for friends and family to come from the States. However, my friend Ira Buckfinnick, a good friend from the synagogue, did make the trip from Raleigh. Bracha's family, my Israeli friends, and those who had lived in Raleigh and now live in Israel attended. Daniel's friends came from school, the Army, and work. I felt proud when his friends told me about the memorable experience with Daniel. An event like this is to appreciate the importance of friendship. After getting some family pictures, Rachel, Daniel, and I stood under the chuppah, the marriage canopy, while Hannah escorted Margalit. There are many nuances to a Jewish wedding that are far beyond the scope of this speech. Under the chuppah, the groom has only one line to say. With this ring, you are consecrated to me according to the law of Moses and Israel. However, the ceremony also had a modern twist as Margalit presented Daniel with a wedding band. In such a joyous moment, there was a moment of sadness. That's when my late wife, Rachel, was mentioned. It's been 6 years since she passed away, but it still hurts. We knew she was watching from above, and a lot of her family was there to celebrate. Pain like this makes the happiness even more special. At the end of the ceremony, a glass cup, nervous, that's what. At the end of the ceremony, a glass cup is shared to remember the destruction of the temple thousands of years ago. The crowd erupted with Mazel Tov, congratulations to the couple. It was a great evening of singing and dancing. The ceremony got especially raucous, rambunctious, when the DJ started playing Go Cubs Go. Daniel put on his jersey and whipped out the W flag. I don't expect Margalit ever to understand Daniel's devotion to the Cubs. I was with Daniel when the Cubs won the World Series in 2016. We celebrated with a glass of champagne. In retrospect, that was nothing compared to the happiness that he exhibited at the wedding. Daniel went from having a family that consisted of a father and a sister to one that included a mother-in-law, 6 sister-in-laws, 4 brother-in-laws, and a number of nieces and nephews. Their marriage is the start of a long journey. There will be highs and lows. I will do my best to be there when they need me and keep quiet. Please. I will do my best to keep quiet when they need, when appropriate. Will continue to pray they have a healthy and happy life together. I will continue praying to have, I count my blessings to have Margalit as a daughter, a wonderful addition to the family. Madam Toastmaster.